very elaborately the rules of the function, then how we need to read the syntax before writing the formula, what are the minimum things we should concentrate, and other things, right? So in today's session, we'll cover the remaining date functions. Okay, so let me put today's topics. Today, hyphen topics. Yep, remaining date functions, then startup functions. We'll start talking about the Spark lines today. As I said, every day we'll talk about one feature along with the functions. Now, friends, yesterday many date functions we have covered, so let us concentrate into the other functions. Let me concentrate today relating to the working days. Okay, friends, if I ask you, let's say start date is today. Let me take the start date. Sorry, start date is today, or else maybe, yeah, we'll take 16th 11 2019. Let's say end date is something. Let's say start date is, instead of 16th, let's take 15th. End date is, maybe I'm taking, let me look into the calendar, 30th, or else 5th December 2019. If I ask you the question, how many days are between these 2 days? Can you tell me what is the answer? It's very simple. This minus this. As I told you, in case of days, both are inclusive. So I'll take +1. If you say for starting date is not inclusive, but end date is only inclusive, then plus you can ignore this +1. In my case, from 15th November till 5th December, these many days are there. If I ask you the question, how many working days are there? Okay, first of all, let us try to understand the meaning of working days. What is the meaning of working days? It's very simple. Working days means total number of days, total days minus weekends minus holidays. I hope this formula is correct, right? So that is what the meaning of working days. If I want to calculate how many working days between these 2 dates, then I'm sure that will be less than or equal to 21. That is for sure. And 21 minus how many weekends are there? As per Excel, by Excel considers Saturday and Sunday are the default weekends. You can question, okay, if I want to consider only Sunday as a weekend, what will happen, and so on. We'll cover all those aspects now. Okay, so now in Excel there is a function named network days. You must be very careful. As I told you, without looking into the syntax, even I can understand how many arguments may be there in the syntax. Do you know how? Very simple. If I want to know total number of working days between 2 dates, first of all I should tell to Excel what are the 2 dates. Exactly, those two are the first and second argument. Excel is asking, Sharon, give me what is the starting date and also give me what is the end date, right? Third argument is optional. It is holidays. I'm just ignoring for the time being. Let me enter. 15 is the working days. That means weekends, simple, total number of days minus 15. That means Saturday and Sundays are 6, right? So this is the way we calculate network days, working days. Let's say, for example, you may say that let's say holidays are there. Holidays is nothing but uh, 18/11/2019, 21/11/2019, then 4th 12 2019. If I consider these three are holidays, then what I need to do now, let me calculate the working days. What is the function? Network days, start date, comma, end date, comma. You need to select the holidays. You may be thinking, Sharon, why we need to select the holidays? Anyway, we have calculated working days here 15, right? 15 minus 3 because 3 holidays are there. No, you may go wrong. I'll tell you when you will go wrong. Okay, now 12 are there because 15 minus 3, absolutely you got 12. Okay, so uh, now, for example, I hope you are getting my point. That is what considering the holidays in calculation of working days. For example, this is 18, this is 17. Now, let me take the same list here. Instead of this as a 70, 18, now if I keep this as a 17. Now, if I calculate the same function equal to network days, start date, comma, end date, comma, holidays. Do you think my answer is same? Can anyone tell? Do you think my answer is same? Same as 12? Because anyway, 3 holidays I considered, even 3 holidays I considered. Can you guys put in the chat box if my answer is correct? Do you think I'll get the same answer as for 12? Okay. See, no, this will not give you the same answer. Why? 17th is actually a weekend. That means it is Sunday. Okay. If it is Sunday, also the holiday, Excel will not subtract 2 times. Whenever a holiday is coming on weekend, Excel ignores that. You must be very careful. I hope you're following me. That is the reason instead of we are just subtracting this minus 3 to get the weekends, if this is the case, this 3 may include even the weekends also. How do Excel know that it's a weekend? So what Excel is saying, Mr. Sharon, you need not to give me how many weekends are there. You just give me the list. I will consider if it is a weekend, I'll ignore. If it is not a weekend, I'll subtract. As simple as it. That is the way we calculate the working days. Now I know what you are thinking. Excel may be saying by default Saturday, Sunday are the weekends, but maybe there is a situation where now what I want to do, I want to consider working days equal to network days. While I'm writing network days function, are you finding one more function is here? That is network days.intl. Network days.intl is the function network days considers only Saturday and Sunday are the weekends. If user want to select his own weekend, then he must use network days dot intl. But wait, network days dot intl is introduced only is introduced in 2010 version. In 2010 version. So whoever using 2007 version, you cannot use this function. Must be very careful. Equal to network days.intl. Start date, this, comma, end date, this, close bracket. Because there is an extra arguments with compared to the network days function, that is the weekend. Though there is an extra argument added, that is also the optional. If it is optional, once I close it, by default it takes Saturday, Sunday. So exactly the same. Okay. If you consider the weekends, now how many weekends are there? Simple. Total number of days minus this is 6. This is nothing but Saturday and Sunday. Network days.intl considers Saturday and Sunday as weekends by default. But if I want to give my own weekend, if user want to select his own weekend, I should enter the third argument. Now, what I'm going to do, now let me calculate again working days equal to network days.intl. What is the start date? This, comma, what is the end date? This. Once I keep comma, do you remember in the weekday working day function, in what we have done? We just kept comma, so automatically we got these things, right? So yesterday we have covered a weekday function. So in the weekday function, second argument, once I kept comma, I got all the list of the weekdays from which it has to start. By default, yesterday it has taken from Sunday through Saturday, 1 through 7. If you want to put your own list, if you want to put your own sequence, you have selected the second argument. In the same way, if I keep comma, automatically the list is coming. Excel is saying, Sharon, do you want to consider Saturday, Sunday? Then keep one. If Sunday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday, or Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, based on this, you can select. You may be thinking, I don't want to consider 2 days as a weekend. I want to consider only one day. That's fine. If that is the case, if you want to consider only Sunday, no problem. Take 11. If I put enter, I'll get my answer 18. Okay. Now, for example, I want to consider this as a weekend. Okay. 11 is Monday only. Okay. This is only Monday, right? If I put, I can simply give a reference to this. So if I want to consider only 11, that means Sunday. Sorry, 11 is Sunday only. If I put 12, same. 13, same. 14, same. Obviously, when you put any day, maybe you may get the difference if any of the day is coming twice, 17, 18. No, there is no 18. Okay. So anyway, whatever the weekday, whatever the weekend you want to consider, that may be Sunday or Saturday or Monday or Tuesday and so on. Till Saturday, you can take individual days. Otherwise, if you want to consider sequential days, as I told you yesterday, in some of the companies, in IBM especially, for the system administrators, for them, the weekend is Tuesday and Wednesday. If that is the case, I'm going to keep 4. So now it is 15. Okay. So this is the way we use network days.intl. I hope everyone understood the question. So I hope everyone understood even the function, whatever I have covered. Now, I know what you are thinking. Hi, Vamshi, good morning. Let's say, for example, the question is, if user want to consider Monday and Friday are the weekends, is it possible? Try to understand my question. If user want to consider Monday and Friday are the weekends, that means what Excel has to do to calculate the working days? Total number of days minus Mondays and Fridays minus holidays, if any. Is it possible through Excel? Can you guys put in the chat box? Is this possible to solve in Excel is my question. I think yes. Yes, this is possible. To solve this, we should customize weekend type, which is third argument of the network days.intl function. Friends, try to understand. If I want to consider now, for example, I want to consider, let's take in this way. We'll take in this way. We'll take the start date, then we'll take the end date. Now let me take the same thing, start date and end date. If I want to consider only Sunday or else Sunday to Monday, sorry, Saturday and Sunday, and so on, Sunday and Monday. Now let me just drag this down. Oh. Monday and Tuesday, Tuesday and Wednesday, Wednesday and Thursday, Thursday. We'll take more examples so that we can understand exactly what we are doing. Okay, this is what I want to consider. If this is the case, can we quickly write the formula? What formula we should write in these cases? Yes, network days. For the time being, let us consider there are no weekends, sorry, holidays. So equal to network days dot intl start date comma end date comma Saturday and Sunday is 1. Okay, or else instead of 1, what I'll be doing, I'll keep here as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so that my formula can be dynamic. I hope you're following me what I'm trying to do. So copy this and paste here. Everywhere the result is almost same. Why? Because only one day here I'm taking Saturday, Sunday out, here Sunday, Monday out, and so on. So exactly the same. Now, for example, there may be situation probably where I may need to consider only single day. For example, it's like this. Sunday, Monday, and so on. Only one day as a weekend. If that is the case, it's not 1, it is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. If you observe, if you remove only one day, now let me give a reference to this, so that if I change the base values, this entirely will change. Friends, I'm just trying to give a connections here, okay? So that if I change my base value, you can change all other remaining things. This is actually this, and this is actually this, and this is exactly the same. I'm using different references. I want to consider the same, this one. So these two are the basic things. If you change these two things, this entirely will change automatically. Now instead of 5th, if I take 6th, see, everything got changed. And also, have you observed, individually maybe everything is correct, but if you observe, Friday, if you consider as a weekend, it's only 18. Okay, that means maybe you are ending up with 6th, which is a Friday. Okay, because exactly you are stopping over there. So this is the way we are calculating, right? Now these two are very simple, because third argument of my network days.intl is having a list. For example, if I ask you a sudden question, I want to consider Sunday and Thursday as a weekend, or else Monday and Friday are the weekend, or else Monday, Tuesday, sorry, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are the weekends, or else I want to consider Monday through Thursday are the weekends, all four. If this is the case, how can we solve? That's what my question. Do anyone answer for this? I hope everyone understood my question. If these are the weekends, how do you consider? If these are the weekends, how do you consider and get the answer to calculate the working days? What Excel said, in these cases, I can customize my third argument. That is nothing but weekend type. So everyone please concentrate. For example, friends, as per Excel in the network days.intl, 0 means working day. 0 means working day. 1 means weekend. That means, what is the meaning of 0000000? Means all are working days. Let's say, for example, 1010, sorry, 11111111. What is the meaning of it? Means all are weekends. For example, 10000000 means Monday is weekend. In the sequence of the code, okay, in the sequence of the code, it considers starts from Monday till Sunday. Friends, don't confuse. This is a rule. Okay, this is, we have not defined, we have not customized this. Excel has customized and given as a workaround. You have to understand. When it takes 7 values, that means it must be starting from Monday till Sunday. Can you tell me what is the meaning of it? What is the meaning of it? Means Thursday and Sunday are the weekends. Okay, this code we should keep. This code must be kept, must enter instead of the third argument. Third argument of Excel by default given a drop down. Now what I am trying to tell Excel, I don't want the drop down, I want to customize my own. So for that, okay, this workaround is there. Now network days.intl. What is the first argument? Start date, comma. What is the second argument? End date, comma. Friends, now I want Sunday and Thursday. That means 00010001. Is it correct? Wrong. Why? Excel doesn't know what this is. If you enter, because all leading zeros will disappear, so your answer will be 1001. There is no code of 1001. Whenever it is a code, we must always cover the same thing in the double quotation. It's a code, right? Now Excel understands that this Monday working day, Tuesday working day, Wednesday working day, Thursday weekend, Sunday weekend. This is what your answer. For example, if I want to consider Monday to Friday, so can you tell me what I need to do? So Monday is 1, Friday is also 1. This is correct. If I want to consider Monday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, same. If I want to consider Monday through Sunday, Monday to Sunday, sorry, Monday to Thursday, all are weekends, then 11000. Check it out. If anyone having any question in understanding these concepts, please let me know. Very important concepts. Okay, so these all are the weekends. This is the weekend. This is the weekend, right? Now let me put here just for you to understand. This is 0001001. This is 10000, sorry, yeah, 100. And this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And this is 1111000. This is the way it works. If anyone having any question on this, please let me know. One of the very powerful concept based on which I can do many things. Friends, for example, there's a question I'm asking. Can you tell me what is the answer? Oh, sorry. What is this? This is nothing but this, and this is nothing but this. Right. Okay. Now, I want to know, for example, How many Sundays are between start date and end date? Friends, can I solve this? Is it possible? I request everyone to put the formula in the chat box. First of all, is it possible? If it is, how to calculate number of Sundays between all start dates? I think Vamshi, it's the other way around. Yes. Formula is very simple. All only how many Sundays? How many Sundays are there? Simple. I'm going to put all our weekends except Sunday, which is a working day. Okay. Now, if that is the case, you know what I'm going to do? Simple. I'll just put this and equal to, instead of this, I can select this. Okay. 3 Sundays are there. Okay. Let's say how many Tuesdays are there? Simple. Same question. Now what I need to do? 0, sorry, 1, 0, all are ones. Okay, 1, 2, 5. So that's all. How many Tuesdays are there? Same, 3 Tuesdays are there. This is the way we consider. Now, if I ask you the question, how to consider second Saturday and fourth Saturday as a weekend? Because this is the case, generally we get it for Indian government employees. Yes or no? Do you agree with me? How to consider second Saturday and fourth Saturday as a weekend? Simple. Keep all second Saturday and fourth Saturday as holidays list. That's all. Both are same, right? Whether you keep as an holiday or weekend, both are same because it is subtracting from the total number of days. I hope everyone understood this concept of working days. If anyone having any question, please let me know. I think I've given with much clarity and I covered little elaborate also. If anyone having any question, please let me know till here. Okay, this everything I have taken so many examples so that once you go back and try to understand, you should be in a position to, okay, consider. Now, uh, okay, now I'll ask you one question. For example, now, okay, let's say this is the division. Yeah. Now here, let me start another small topic. In fact, I am asking the question. Let's say I joined in a company today. Let's say yesterday, 15th 11 2019. I decided that I'm going to work how many working days in that company? I'm sorry, just give me one sec. Yep. Okay, I'm going to work in this company maybe 32 working days. Then can you tell me what is the last working day in that company for me? I hope you understood the question. The question is very simple. Let's say I joined in the company today and I decided that I'll be working 32 working days. Can you tell me what is my last working day? Yeah. So in this case, last working day is nothing but start date, join date plus weekends plus holidays. I hope you agree with me, right? So how you calculate? That's what my question. It's very simple. We have a function names. We have a function names workday. Don't confuse. Workday function, this what my start date. These are the number of days. This is exactly like network days. Why? Because in the network days and this one, the only difference is second argument, because there I need to take start date and end date because I want to find the difference. In this case, I have to take what is the start date and how many days to add. This days is nothing but working days. Holidays for the time being, I'm not giving anything. By default, okay, this giving as a serial number. Let me consider this as a short date. See, if you decided to work 32 working days, you'll be working till 31st December 2019. So workday function considers by default Saturday, Sunday as an argument. Saturday and Sunday as weekends. If same thing, if user want consider different list of weekends, he must use which function? How we have network days.intl, there is one more function introduced, workday.intl. But workday.intl function introduced in which version? In 2010 version. That means if you are using 2007 version or below, you cannot work with workday.intl. In the in the third argument of workday.intl, user can define his own weekend from the list. Excel displays the list. For example, let us take the same case studies then. All these can work. Now, what I'm going to do, I'll take the same case studies, Control C, because all are having the same nature, right? Here, the only thing we will change here, working days, here, last working day. Same thing, Control C, Control V, Control C, and Control V. Okay, don't confuse. Network days.intl, workday.intl, almost same. Now, here working days, let me consider as 32. Okay, so let me put this as a general. Now, this is what I'll be doing. This same format, right? So now I need to write the formula here. In this case also, exactly like this, let us take the same thing. This is the format which I would like to take. Friends, this is what clear the format. Okay. And let me remove this formula. I'll write this formula. Even in this case, let me consider the same thing. This is nothing but working days. So I don't want any formula. Now let me remove this. Now I will not tell anything. I'm requesting you to tell. If I want to consider Saturday and Sunday as a weekend, okay, to calculate working days, to calculate the last working day, what is the function I must use? Workday.intl start date, comma, these many working days. As I told you, workday.intl third argument is weekend, exactly like our function network days.intl, comma, In this weekend, you can select 1 is for Saturday and Sunday, 2 is for Sunday and Monday, 3 is for Monday, Tuesday, and so on. Let me take 1, copy and paste. No problem, because my last working day is a date. So let me put the date exactly it has considered, right? Now, if you want to consider this, can you tell me what is the function? Same function. Okay. Now I've considered start date, how many working days, what is the weekend? 11 means only Sunday. Now control C, same. Now in this case, friends, I'm going a little faster in this case because it is exactly the same concept. Now the same thing, let me control C, control V, Thursday and Sunday and Thursday, you can keep your own weekend as I told you. The same code concept even works here. So because it is Thursday, that means fourth value, Sunday, seventh value, Monday, first value, Friday, fifth value. Exactly the same. If anyone having any question on this, please let me know. It is very simple. Okay. I hope you're following me. But you must be very careful. One thing, the difference between these two. After I cover this, I'm sure you will do a small comparison and you may go wrong. For example, start date is 15th 11 2019. End date is 18 11 2019. Okay. How many working days are there? Can anyone tell? If consider Saturday, Sunday as a weekend, sorry, check it out. Let me open this. How many working days? 15th Friday, 16th, 17th Saturday, Sunday, 18. My answer must be 2 if I use the workday function. Network days function. Network days, start date, comma, end date, close bracket. My answer is 2. If I do the other way around, if I calculate last working day, considering this as a work days, then I should get the same answer. Yes or no? But I doubt you will get the same answer. Work day, start date, then these many days. Now your date may be 19th. Okay. Why? Because while calculating workday function, Excel will not consider the start date. That is the reason 15th plus 2 working days. So start date plus, that's the reason if you observe here what I told you, last working day is join date plus weekends plus holidays. Sorry, join date plus working days plus weekends plus holidays. So from that day it will calculate that day plus 2. So 15th, if you go here, 15th, from this day I need to add 2 working days. Is it a working day? No. Is it a working day? No. Is it a working day? Yes. Is it a working day? Yes. So 1 2 after this 18th 19th. That's the reason don't do the backward calculation, because in the network days function it considers both, but in the workday function it considers after the start date. I hope everyone understood the logic out of this. If anyone having any question on this, please let me know. Okay. Friends, am I fast? I went a little fast in the second instance because it is exactly the same case. Network days, network day, network days.intl, workday.intl. Can I go ahead? Can you guys please confirm? Friends, can I go ahead? Yeah. Is my voice audible clearly? Yep. Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. Dheeraj, do you have any question? Is there Dheeraj in the group? Sorry, Dhananjay. I'm sorry. Dhananjay, do you have any question? Okay, if you guys have any question, you can stop me so that we can go into the question then. Yeah. Now let me cover one small function again, which is very important because this function is not there if you look into the category of the functions. To calculate the age, this function is most important. For example, let us take the name India, then date of birth as a Independence Day, so 15th August 1947. Today equal to today. Now I want to know how many years are there, how many completed years between these two dates. Can you tell me how many years are there? Equal to, there is a function names date date difference. If you observe in the drop down, while I am writing date diff, it's not coming in the drop down. Do you agree with me? Yes. That means is this function not available? Yes. Date diff function is to date diff function is available till 2007 version. Because of the technical reasons, they have removed date diff from the list of the functions. However, we can use this function even later 2007 version if we remember arguments. Okay, I know the arguments. Okay, since arguments are not coming in the syntax, let me explain you. Date diff having three arguments. One, start date, then two, end date, three, difference code. I'll tell you what is the meaning of this. So now let me write this formula date date diff, and that means date difference. You cannot call this function as a date diff. Okay, it is date difference. Now start date is this, comma, end date is this, comma. Now what do you want? Years. That means completed years. In a double quotation, you need to keep Y. Okay. Y means completed years. Post independence, 72 years are over. Okay. For example, if I want to consider how many months are there, simple, the same function, date diff. Now, this is the start date, this is the end date. If you put this, but this is wrong. You know why? It may give you the answer, but it is giving you completed months from that date till this date. If you want to tell the age to any other person, we don't tell that my age is 400 months, 200 months, and so on, right? I will tell these many years and these many months. That means I want to calculate months after completed years. Okay, this is what I want. So months after completed years, what is the function? Same function, date diff, start date, then then end date, comma, we call it as a YM. So YM is the code. After years, how many months are there? 3. 72 years, 3 months, then how many days? Now let's say days. If you put the same formula, control C, control V, instead of MD, you may get wrong value. That means it will give you all the days between these 2 days. I don't tell anyone my age is that 300 working days, sorry, 1,000 days, 2,000 days, and so on. So what we do, if I put days after years, then what I need to put? Same formula. Instead of n, it is yd. But even this is not correct. We don't tell 72 years or 93 days. We tell 72 years, 3 months, and remaining days. So I want to know days after months. If that is the case, equal same function, okay, equal to date diff, start date is this, end date is this, then I need to put what? YMD is not required. It is just MD. Because anyway, M means completed months. After months, how many days are there? This is the way we put. Okay. So this is one. Let's try to understand the code. Code of YMD, YM, YD, MD. Right. What is the meaning of Y? Completed years between two dates. Friends, this code we can only use in date function. You cannot use these codes wherever you want, because D means, as per our text function, it is a day number in a single digit. M means month number in a single digit. So you must be very careful. Completed years between two dates. Okay, in date diff function. Yeah, anyway, this entirely is in date diff function. So completed months. Hi Vinod, good morning. You are again late today. So this is completed days. It will not give you fraction. That is what my meaning is. YM means completed days. Okay. Days, sorry, completed months after completed years between two dates. Due to some technical issue, I was not able to join, only voice. Oh, okay, two dates. Now, completed days after completed months. Then this one, completed days after completed months. I hope everyone understood the concept of this, right? So this is the way we calculate. Now, for example, with this data, I want to build a sentence. The sentence is uh, India is 72 years, 3 months, and 1 day. Are days. Okay, 1 day. We can still, let's say, days, because if it is more than one. Okay. If I want to build this sentence, the sentence may change based on these values. Yes or no? If I change instead of India to, let's say, Sharon, if I put my date of birth, this sentence must change automatically. This is a constant, right? Okay. So this is, let me keep here. This is a constant sentence. How to make it dynamic? Very important. So let's say this is a constant. Let's put in the gray color. And I want to make it more dynamic. That means based on my input, this has to change. Okay. Can you guys tell me what I need to do? There are two functions in Excel. Let me introduce you. One is concatenate function. The other one is ampersand symbol. What is concatenate function? Let me first explain you these functions. For example, Saran is there, Kumar is there. I want to join these two. There is a function in Excel names concatenate. Select this, comma this. It will join these two. You must understand, concatenate function always results text only. While you are writing this function, have you observed while I am writing concatenate, are you finding there is a small error here, error symbol? What is the meaning of it? That means concatenate function is part of the compatibility category now. I'll explain this. So first let me start talking about this. Then we'll go into that. Concatenate is the function joins values. Concatenate function always results text. Concatenate function is part of compatibility category from Office from 2016 version or Office 365. Why they made it as a compatibility category? First, let me explain you something about compatibility category. With every version, Excel introduce advanced functions, advanced new functions. After introduction of couple of functions, some of the old functions becomes redundant. Okay, since old functions are not relevant, Excel is not removing from the directory, removing from the functions list. Why? Can anyone tell? They cannot remove just because one advanced function came with compared to the old function, which is doing much more better things. It cannot. Example is best one, network days. After introduction of the network days.intl, I need not to use the network days function, right? Why? Because network days.intl is more advanced compared to network days. Workday.intl is more advanced with compared to workday function. Just because they introduce the advanced function, if they remove network days function, you know what will happen? Let's say, for example, I am using Office 365, which is 2019, and one of my staff has sent me an Excel file. He is using just 2007 version only. He has written a formula in 2007 version in his Excel, network days. Now, I got his file in my email box and I saved into my folder. I opened the file. Now, if I open the file, Excel will show me an error stating that, Mr. Sharon, some of the functions which are not there, okay, in your version. So in all those cases, you know what I'm going to get? Name error, because that function is not there in the latest version. So that is the biggest problem, because everywhere in the world people may not use the same function. So what they do, they don't remove, but they'll keep it into compatibility functions. If you look into this category, these all are the categories we call. We have financial category, logical category, text category, date and time category, lookup category, maths and trigonometry, statistical functions, engineering functions, cube functions, information functions. This is what I'm talking about. If you see, you can find here. Though the list is so much, but don't worry, than this, much more advanced functions are available here. Okay, that means we should understand what is the advanced function than the concatenate, right? Concat introduced in 2016 version or Office 365. Concat is more advanced than concatenate function. Why? That means concatenate is having some limitation. What is the limitation? In the concat function, in the concatenate function, we cannot keep the ranges. Keep the range. Example, for example, Saran is there, Kumar is there. I cannot put a function names concatenate this and this. Okay, sorry. Maybe because it's a in your system, because mine is having a dynamic array feature, the same thing is coming. But ideally, if you are trying to take this, you cannot do that. In your system, you can try. In this case, if I take it, I'll get a value error because, okay, this is an invalid argument. This displays, I'll explain you in my case why it is different. If anyone want to try, you can take like this and you can write a concatenate function, you will get a value error. Why? It will not consider the range. But the same thing, if I use in the concat function, my answer is Saran Kumar. Check it out. What do you get? Now let me put a space. See, it's Saran Kumar. This is concatenate function, this is concat function. The concatenate function is having a limitation, you cannot keep the range inside. But concat function, you can keep the range. That means even if I have 1000 items to join everything together, just take A1 colon A1000, your answer will come. The alternative for joining, the alternative for joining values together, what is that? Is ampersand symbol. Okay, and a symbol. This we call it as an ampersand. That means I can do the same, Saran space Kumar, or else Saran, this is, I'm just keeping my name, equal to this, join with this. If I want even space also, no problem. Space, join with this. So how many items I'm joining? 3 items. Saran, 1 item, then join with space, join with Kumar. It is Saran space Kumar, right? So why I use the word, if you use the concatenate function and concat function, your result is always a text because of this. Let's say 20 is there, 19 is there. Can I join these two? Yes, you can join any value. But what is my answer? My answer is not 2019, but 2019. This is text. Okay. Anything you use in the concatenate or concat or ampersand symbol, your result is always a text. I'm going to connect this with some other example. So this is a rule. If you use the ampersand symbol, the result is always a text. I hope you understood the difference between concat, concatenate, ampersand symbol, and so on. Because why I've covered that point here, because in this case I want to join many things together, right? If that is the case, now what I'm going to do, I'll keep this somewhere. Now let me add a couple of line items here so that we can keep it below. Yeah. You know, I don't generally go here and independently remove the color because we don't know what other format this is having. I preferably use clear formats. Okay, so now this example I would like to cover here, right? Yeah, yeah. Now the same thing is a constant here. I want to make it dynamic. Now we know how to join many text items together. Either you can use concatenate function or you can even use ampersand symbol. Now, India is my first word. Is it dynamic or is it a variable or constant? It's a variable because if I change here instead of India, some other name, that name will come. Join this with what? Is. So in double quotation, space is join. Why I kept space? Because space is also a text. Why I have covered in the double quotation? Because text has to be covered in the double quotation. Now, India is, if I enter, India is will come. Now, again, join this with what? 72. If I put, just 72 will come. Join this with years, comma is also text, space is also text. If I enter, India age is 72 years. Again join, take 3, again join months, and again join 1, again join ampersand symbol. So days. This is the way we write exactly the same. What is the advantage of this uh, compared to this? Simple. For example, if I take my age 7 to 1987, so it is, you see, if you observe, Saran age is 30 to 9 months 9 days automatically. If I put, let's say, my daughter Kshetra, let's say 28 1 2009 2000, 18. Okay, so this is 1 year, 9 months, and 19 days. This is changing automatically, but this is a constant which will not change automatically, right? So this is the way we can generate the dynamic content. And date diff is one of the very important function, that is to give you the difference between two dates. If it is total years you want, you can take y in double quotation, m, d, ym, yd, md. These all are the combinations you can use. And this is what about concatenate function and other functions. Okay. If anyone having any question till here, please let me know. Anyone? Yeah. Now let's try to understand the concept of time, because there is no meaning for date unless we learn about the time. Again, because one day is nothing but 24 hours. So entirely date is building with the time and hours, seconds, minutes. Okay. So yeah. Anyone having any question till here? I'll cover the small point, then we'll take 2 minutes break. Okay. First, let me talk about time. Very small concept. Time is very simple to understand. If I keep, generally, what is the meaning of one day? One day is nothing but 24 hours. We all know it, right? That means 10% of the day means 1 divided by, sorry, 24 divided by, oh, sorry, is it? Yeah. 24 by 10 hours. Is it correct? 2.4 hours. Ampersand. I kept hours so that hours will come automatically. So this ampersand with this. Let me make it dynamic. Now 20% of the day means, my 20% of the day means these many hours. Okay. Now this 100% means exactly after 24 hours. Exactly 24 hours is over. This is the basic maths behind understanding the time, right? For example, if I take 1, 1.1, 1.2, let me drag this. Friends, this is a serial number of date. It's a serial number of the date. Now, if I want to consider this into the date, what is the function I should use? Equal to text. This is serial number. Convert this into dd hyphen mm hyphen yy. Guys, can you tell me what is my answer if I enter? Friends, can you please tell me what is the answer if I enter? As per Excel, 1 is nothing but 1st January 1900. I want to convert 1st January 1900 into dd hyphen mm hyphen yy. That means 01 hyphen 01 hyphen 1900. Hope you're following me. Copy this. And this one, same. 1.1 Excel ignore, because here I'm asking only dd mm yy, right? Even 1.1 is considered as a 1. So copy paste, everywhere it is the same date, but if it is 2, now it considered 2nd January 1900, because I've taken only dd hyphen mm hyphen yy. For example, now in the text function, I'm also taking dd hyphen mm hyphen y space hh colon mm colon ss. Do you remember in our digital watches we find this type of clock format, right? This type of time format, hh colon mm colon ss. Don't confuse. This mm is for the months, this mm is for the minutes. Okay, so how do Excel understand that this is minutes? Because it's having such a logical thing at the back end. So when hours is there, after that it may be considered as a minutes, or maybe when seconds is there, before that it may be considered as a minutes. Okay, so Excel also may confuse with these two, but if you put into a proper format, Excel consider with the logic sense. Now if I put the same thing, right? So equal to text, consider this, comma, either you can type this or else you can refer this, because this is anyway the text, right? So let me freeze this. Now if I enter, exactly, what is the meaning of 1? As per Excel, 1 means exactly 12 a.m. 1st January 1900. Now if I copy and paste below, how many hours got increased? 24 hours. So 2.24. If I further drag it down, you can understand now the concepts better. Try to understand. 0%, just for the understanding. Okay. So 1.0 means exactly 1st January 1900, 12 a.m. Right? So 1.1 means 10% of the time is over. Yeah, 10% of the time is over. 10% of the day is over. That means 2:24 a.m. 1.2, 20% is over. 1.3, 30% is over. 1.4, 40% is over. 1.5, midday. But this is a 24 hours format. If I want to consider 12 hours format, simple, space AM by PM. Okay, the format will change like this. Now, what is the function I'm going to use? Text for this date, consider this as a format, enter, copy and paste. Oh, sorry, because I have to freeze this. Check it out. Now it has given me, you should remember, you should understand the meaning of this thing. Till here, I'm sure you remembered because yesterday I covered elaborately. Here, HH colon MM colon SS is basically for the time. If you put a space AM by PM, that is 12 hours format. Friends, this entirely I kept as the second argument of the text function. If you want to write this manually, you have to write it, you must need to cover the entire thing into double quotation. This entire code you must keep it into double quotation. Everywhere we are finding seconds 0.0000. Why? Because these all are exactly 10%. If you put probably 1.2357, now I'm sure even seconds also will come. Milliseconds also will come if you want. If you want, probably dot ss. See, morning 5:39, 24 seconds, 24 milliseconds, dot ss. Okay, so this is the way we consider. For example, this is 1.62587. I'm sure this is also having a milliseconds. Take it out. Evening 3 hours, 1 minute, 15 seconds, and 15 milliseconds. That is the way it considers. Okay. When there are a couple of bunch of functions in Excel to extract year, there is a function named year. Year function is to extract what? Then there is a function names month. There's a function names day. Yesterday we have covered all this. And there's a function names date to join all these into date format. In the same way, we have 4 more functions. This is to extract year from date, to extract month. See, wildcard, sorry, flash fill. Because I've taken year, I'm trying to keep month. It understood that it has to add instead of year the month, day. Now to join year, month, and day as date. In the same way, we have 4 more functions in Excel that is nothing but R function, second function, sorry, R minute function, second function. I'll not cover all these because these all are small functions. Then time function. What it does to extract R from time. From time. This is to extract. Now this can consider as a flash fill. So to join R minute second as time. Okay. This is what another bunch of 4 functions. Whenever you have a time, if you want to extract only R, there's a function named R. There is a function named minute. There is a function named second. and there's a function named time. This is what about the time related concepts. Time is this simple mathematical concept. Obviously, this is what fundamental to the entire concept. Okay. Till here, if anyone having any question, please let me know. I hope you're following me. Am I fast? Am I okay? Is my voice clearly audible for everyone? Is there any problem seeing the screen or anything? Great, great. You provided space in. Uh, I didn't get your question, Vinath. Oh, by me. Okay. Okay. So I'll give just 3 minutes, little break, and we'll start the session on startup functions. Friends, tomorrow there will be no session. Sunday, many people personally messaged me that they don't want session. In fact, they don't. They initially they said they don't want weekends, but today I considered because it's a first week, so we are in the flow. And tomorrow there is no session, and from day after tomorrow the classes will go continuously. Okay, and now slowly I started understanding. I started going into little in depth. Okay, and whenever I take one concept, we'll try to cover in depth. Okay, into the entire concept. Now you must be in a position to handle anything relating to dates. You can slice and dice the date, you can extract anything out of the date, you can convert it, you can use it into the sentences, you can do whatever you want. But the basic fundamental for the date is nothing but a serial number. At the end, it's a number. Okay, Vinath. Okay, I consider your request. Okay. So take quickly 3 minutes break and we'll assemble at 7. Now the time is 7:47. We'll assemble at 7:50. 3 minutes break, then we'll take this session till 8:15. Quickly 3 minutes break, please. Yep. Let me start the startup functions. Before going into startup functions, let me cover a small feature names Spark lines. As I told you, every day we'll cover along with a couple of functions, couple of features also, right? For example, Jan, Fab, and so on till let's say till June. Let me give you a little introduction. Sparkline is introduced. Sparkline is called as a tiny chat. Called as tiny chat. What is the meaning of tiny chat? Tiny chat means a chart which can fit into a single cell. You can get the spark lines. This feature introduced in 2010 version. Okay, if you want to use the navigation, then it is ribbon menu, then in that insert tab, in that okay insert tab, let me look into the group, which group it belongs to. This is into Sparklines group. There are three types of sparklines: line chart, column chart, win or lose chart. Okay, sparkline can be given, sparklines can be given to horizontally, horizontal data, or vertical data. This is what about a brief background of sparkline. Now let us see what is the meaning of this. Now let's say I have Jan to June. I have, let's say, A, B, C, D, E, F. There are 6 people, and there are some amounts here just to consider. Now let me take a couple of amounts. We have a function names rand between 0 to 1 lakh. Now I'm not I'm not doing copy paste special values in this case, because if these values changes, let us see how this chart will change. Now I'm just going into the insert, go to the line chart, data range, which data you want to select. As I told you, that is only for one record. So first record you select. For this data, what is the location you want? I want this location. Select this. Click OK. Now this is what your small line chart. Sparkline is best case when you have very small data. If you have so much of data, like here only 6 items are there, at least this fine. If you have 20 items, you may not identify in one cell how it changes. Now when I start, keep on pressing F9, now check it out. Now check it out, how it is changing. It's changing. Now you can just keep the cursor here. Are you finding there is a Sparklines extra tab which is appearing? This tab is exclusively for this. You can go and you can change whatever the color you want. Let's say I want to keep maybe the red color, and I want to give the size of my line must be little thick, and maybe this, and I want to highlight uh, high point with the green color, and I want to also highlight low point with maybe dark red color, right? And let me put the color maybe this one, right? So this is the way we can start working with this sparkline, right? So now, for example, let me go into, or else you can put into a different color. Colors is basically you can put whatever the color you want. Let's put the green color, yellow, blue color, right? So if you change the values here, these values will change automatically. This is the best suit. If you have, for example, instead of 6, if you have only 3, okay, for 3 items, you can see the trend. For example, let me remove this. Now see, I can see the trend. Okay, this is actually last 2 months dip, then high, then second month high. It is continuously dipped, and this is okay, little high and dip, and so on. This is the way we consider. For example, I want to know the line chart. Simple, keep the cursor here. There are two ways. Either you can independently select or you can select everything at a time. Now let me go into the column chart. Now, earlier I've taken only one row, right? Instead, take everything. This entire data result must keep here. Here also you can take it entirely. So that for the first row it will give you here, second row it will give you here, and so on. Just keep here. Okay. It has given you the trend, how it is working, right? Now you can keep this maybe the same color as a blue color, and okay, so you can make a little thickness, then high thickness. Let's put this, and whatever the colors you can use it. This is a lines, this is a sorry, column chart. If I want to have a win or lose chart, so for this data, I want to use the spark line. I want to keep the spark line here. But you will not find any difference in this case because all are positive. So since it is positive, it is taking into the upward direction. Now what I'm going to do, instead of 0 to 10, 1 lakh, what I'm going to do, I'll keep 1 lakh to minus 1 lakh to plus 1 lakh. Now you can identify negative values. If you observe here, okay, this is going down. Okay, so it is okay. So negative values is in the red. If you keep on change these values by pressing F9, because as I told you, Excel is having a characteristic. If you refresh Excel, every value in the Excel will change automatically. So this is the way it changes. This is very beautiful. Especially this one will give a trend to the user, and you can use this maybe if you have at least some still 6 items, and this is only just to identify whether it's a positive or negative. Okay, let's say as I told you, this can be even done with a columns also. As I told you, this can be even done. Now I can go here. I can have a spark line for this area, maybe here, so that now we consider this entirely here. Okay, now you have 6 values. Now this can be used again in the same way. You can do whatever you want. So if anyone having any question with respect to the sparkline, please let me know. Very simple feature. Okay, in the pivot table, this works very beautifully. That's all. So if anyone having any question, please let me know. Can I go ahead? Friends, can I go ahead? Yeah. Now let's take startup functions. Why I called the name as a startup because these all are very basic functions for which you need not to keep so much of effort, but you just need to understand when to use this function and where to use that. So there are a bunch of functions in Excel where we can use this in the real time. In the dashboard, Dhananjay, this can be used best in the dashboard. Let's say I'm preparing a dashboard for CEO or CFO. Every time I may not keep the transaction data. That means I may not keep the data in the numbers. In those cases, just to have a glance. For example, when three values are there, I want to know the trend without looking into the numbers, because management it's always looking into the charts and they'll derive something out of it. In those cases, practically we can use this is for the dashboards, not for any other analysis, because these days visualization is something which is very much required in case of preparing the MIS and so on. In those cases you can use this. Yeah, now let's look into the startup functions. Some function, I'm sure majority of these functions you already know, but as a concept I'm just trying to explain. Average function, average a function, we have count function, count a function, count blank. Then what other functions we have? Max function, we have max a, min function, min a, median function, mode function, large function, small function. Let me cover all these functions. Don't worry, though these looks almost 14 functions, but all are very simple. Very easy to understand. 10, 20, 30 is there. If I want to sum, my answer is 60. We all know this. In fact, I'm not more interested into this. For example, can you tell me if I keep ABC, what's my answer? You guys keep in the chat box. What is the answer if I keep ABC? Absolutely. If I enter, my answer is 40. That means what we can derive, let me put a remarks, very important thing. What we can derive out of it, some function ignores text. Yes or no? Ignores text in the range. Text which is part of the range. Is it correct? Do you think my statement is correct? Okay, if that is the case, if I put single quote we use to convert any number into the text, I hope everyone understood this. If I put 20, now I'm keeping everything into right alignment as if it is there in the right alignment. Still my answer is 40 because 20 is the text. Friends, frauds in Excel, to make a fraud, you need not to put a lot of effort. Small things, if you learn in depth, that is sufficient to make a fraud. Let me explain you one case study. Let's say I went into the client office to do the audit and there are huge numbers like this. Okay. Or else let me take, instead of, yeah, there are huge numbers and copy paste special values, and there is at the bottom there is a sum function. As an auditor, what I do, I only look into the bottom and I put F2. I cross check that yes, the client has given a correct formula A3 to A11 because it has considered everything. Now the client accountant is having some fraudulent intention. Now the client accountant don't want this amount should be part of your final total. So what that fellow is doing, he'll not remove, because if you remove, you may ask the question, 10 records, 9 records must be there, why only 8 records are there? So what that fellow does, he will not remove, but at the same time, he don't want this 630, 6 must be part of this total. So what he can simply do, he'll keep a single quote before this. I know what you are thinking. If it is a text, by default, it's a left alignment, right? I know. He can keep it right alignment later, no problem. Now as an auditor, now I got this file. I don't know that there's a text value. As an auditor, what I do, I put the F2 and the formula is wonderful. Now I consider this total is correct. Then I'll use this formula as an input into some other formula. I'll use that result. I'll use as an input into some other formula and so on. But my first question, how do we know that the data which we are getting or the totals which we are getting are correct? So I'm questioning the data integrity in the first instance itself. Leave about auditing. It's not only audit for the people who are into the jobs also. This is for industry also. Probably tomorrow I'll search for a report in the next session by released by CFE, ACFE, Institute of Certified Fraud Examiners. Out of the frauds happen throughout the world, the spreadsheet frauds contribute 3 to 7%. Let's say if 1 billion frauds are happening throughout the world, let's say in a year, through spreadsheets, the frauds are, 70 to 80 million. So that means it's a huge. So we must be very careful. Okay, it's not 70 to 80, it's yeah. So if this is the case, how do you know that the total is correct? This is an open question. I'm just trying to give you, that's the reason I'm covering this topic today, though it is looking like a startup functions, but you must need to understand this very carefully. If some function is giving me error in case of text, this problem may not come because I can get the error. I'll get the error here. So if error is there, I'll go back and I'll cross check. But unfortunately, some is ignoring the text. So some ignores the text. You must be very careful. Friends, can you tell me what is the answer? Sum 10, 20, 30. What is the answer? Put in the chat box. Vamshi, why error? Here I am entering 3 arguments. Each argument is a number. So obviously I'll get 60. In this case, I entered only one argument, which is a range. An argument can be even a range also. An argument can be even a number which I can enter directly. So both are same. So sum 10 comma 10 comma 10. What's my answer if I enter? Though it is a text 10, Excel is considering it as a number because at the end sum is doing, okay, it's not 10, it is, yes, that's what I'm saying. Quoted text is taking in this function as a number because Excel is summing. What I told you, the characteristic of Excel, the text number will automatically convert into a number if you use the same thing in the arithmetic expression. Also in the case of sum function. Okay, for example, sum now 10 comma a comma 10. What's my answer if I enter? In this case, it is value error. It's not, okay, 20, it's a value error. If you observe, there is a lot of difference. If text is part of my range, if text is part of the range, then sum ignores. If text is directly as an argument, then sum returns value error, because in the sum function the syntax is number 1 comma number 2 and so on. That means you must need to enter a number, or you can select a reference or a range which is having a number. But in this case, directly I'm entering as a text. That's the reason it's a value error. You must be very careful. All right, equal to sum 10 comma true comma 20. What's my answer? It is considering, okay, true as 1, false as 0. True as 1, false as 0 when if you use the same thing in the arithmetic expression. So even in this case, it is considering at the end, probably it is summing all the values. So it is considering automatically as 1 and 0. Okay, this much in depth is there, but you start thinking about this case study, very relevant for us. Now, average function. 10, 20, 30 is there. In Excel, average means a simple mean equal to average. Simple mean for this is 10 plus 20 plus 30 divided by 3, it is 20. My question is, if I put ABC, what's my answer if I enter? Do you think still it is 20, or else instead of 30, let's put ABC? Do you think still my answer is 20? No. It is 10 plus 20 divided by, is it 2 or 3? In this case 2, because average function ignores, let me put this case study, let me put it here. Okay, case study, we'll cover this now. Average function ignores the text in both numerator and denominator. Okay, so now my answer is 15 because it is just considering 10 plus 20 divided by 2. Only 2 numbers are there. But the same thing if I use in the average A function. Now what is this? In the denominator, it will consider this one. Now 10 plus 20, 30 divided by 3. Even it consider average A function considers the text. You must be very careful. Try to understand the difference between average and average A. In this case, 10 plus 20 plus ABC divided by only 2 because only numbers are there. In this case, 10, 20 ABC divided by, even ABC also considered as 10. Okay, these all average A, count A, max A, min A. These we call it as a statistical functions because why this function they introduced, there may be a situation where in the huge population some of the samples where instead of keeping 0 they kept not available NA. In case if they keep NA, that is also part of that, also must be considered in the case of average simple mean, that must be considered as a 0. If that is the case, okay, they can use average A function because if any text is there in between, that will be ignored for the numerator, but denominator that will be considered. Okay, what is a count function? Count is basically count how many numbers are there, equal to count. It counts only the numbers. My answer is 30. If I put, sorry, 3, because 3 numbers are there. If I put single quote 20, my answer is 2 because it's not a number. It looks like it is a number, but it's not a number. You must be very careful. Even if you want, it has to consider the text also. See, 20 is the text, right? So what is the function? Count A. Don't confuse. Count A is the function which can consider text also. Except the blanks, count A consider everything. See, this is the blank. That's the reason it has not considered. Okay, so count blank. How many blanks are there? For example, this is 20 and this is 30, equal to count blank. Friends, can you tell me what is the answer in this case? How many blanks are there? Please put in the chat box. My answer must be 1. You must be very careful. Excel is such a dangerous application. It's powerful, there is no doubt. It is also dangerous. Our eyes sometimes, okay, go wrong. The answer is 0. Why? Because it is not a blank. How do you know that this is a blank? It looks like this is a blank, but it's having a space. I entered the space, you did not observe. If I remove this, then it is 1. Space is also a value which is text. Okay, you must be very careful. Friends, I have a small work. I'm just stopping, I'm just closing my session till here. This is all I'll consider in the next session. And don't miss the next session. We'll be covering all these remaining startup small functions. And I'll start talking on the wildcard characters as well as I'll be starting the conditional sum functions. Through conditional sum, probably Monday and Tuesday, I'll cover conditional sum functions elaborately. And Tuesday, I may start the arrays, because through conditional sum functions, I'll be landing into the arrays. Probably Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll cover the arrays and we'll do a lot of examples. Then from Thursday, again, we'll start going into the other functions and features. Okay. So as scheduled, within 20 days, 20 working days, whatever the 20 class sessions, I'll complete most of the syllabus. If maybe any extra 1 or 2 days are required, I need your support, but I'll try my level best. Till here, I'm going little slow because you need to understand how the way I'm teaching, and you should understand the path, because basics are very important. Once you understand the basics, from tomorrow you will have a feel of joy of working with the functions and formulas. Okay, so I'm just stopping here. I'm just saving and closing. Friends, there is no session tomorrow, so I request everyone without fail, please practice. Please practice, because without practice, it is very difficult to follow the sessions, especially from Monday, because I'll be talking advanced topics from Monday. Okay, so let me upload the material. Once I keep